Hello fellow residents of Tamriel, it is the Beeve, and I am making another video here. The audio is a little bit weird on this one. I'm trying to talk a little bit louder. I've never really done anything PC-wise like I'm doing right here. My capture card is not really PC-based, it's more for the PlayStation. But the graphics card in my computer has the ability to record and live stream and do things like that as well. So I'm kind of a little bit new to this. The audio might be a little bit low. I'm sorry, I'm trying to project my voice for that matter. But with the talk of this new update 24 coming, I've been this PTS where they've already started, nerfing abilities and increasing costs on them. And I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of the game for myself, my group, and everyone else that wants to see what's going on and wants to know how this stuff is playing out. Now, there are abilities that have taken nerfs to damage once again. Your unstable wall and the liquid lightning and the lightning flood, any form of the lightning splash, any more for the lightning splash, have taken damage reductions once again, and they've actually increased costs on them as well. So before, your lightning wall, your wall of unstable wall ran about what was the damage on that lightning wall, or the lightning wall on PlayStation side right now, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting somewhere between 16 to 1700 damage per second. Right now I'm sitting at 1193, which is a lot lower, and it's went from about 2700 magicka to 4200 magicka. So an increase in magicka cost on it as well. Lightning flood, this right here, I'm pretty sure I'm getting between 22 and 2300 per second. It's down to 1627 per second. Once again, it's went from 2700 magicka up to 4200 magicka. So 2 nerfs with cost increases. The volatile familiar, the cost on the volatile familiar hasn't changed to summon it, but there is now a different cost to actually activate it, which is almost 1,000 more magicka to activate it. Plus, shock damage is down on it a couple hundred as well. I'm pretty sure I'm at 29 or 3,000 on PlayStation right now, and it has dropped down to 2,600. So another nerf with an increased cost. Now, crystal fragments did not get a nerf, and degeneration. This is entropy. This is the other morph of entropy. Most of us were using structured entropy because it was giving us our major sorcery and providing a heal for us. Now structured only heals, and degeneration only gives you major sorcery. So I'm using this right now for the major sorcery. On PlayStation side, this does about 25,000 damage per second, or 25,000 damage over 12 seconds. As you can see here, it's doing about 14, almost 15,000. So that's been nerfed as well. The cost on that one has not been increased though, so that's okay, but still a really big damage nerf. Like I said, crystal fragments, nothing. Daedric Prey did not take a hit either. So we do have increased costs on a lot of different abilities, and it is wreaking havoc on sustain, to be complete honest with you. It's been tough. Now, to kind of go over what I have found so far, and I'll show it to you now, is set-wise, I'm using the Maelstrom Lightning Staff with a spell damage glyph on it, infused. Maelstrom Lightning Staff increases the damage your light and heavy attacks do while enemies are inside your unstable wall. I've switched back over to Spell Strategist again at this point. It outperforms Mother Sorrow by a tad little bit in my opinion, and I've actually changed this to Nirnhoned at this point just to get some more damage on that back bar because I'm spending more time there, and I'm throwing all of my crystal fragments from this bar, so it really helps, with the Spell Strategist on the back bar and this being Nirnhoned, I'm seeing better DPS outputs this way. But Spell Strategist is Max Magicka, spell damage, and when you hit a light attack, you put a mark on the target, granting you 500 spell damage against that marked target for 5 seconds, and the effect can occur every 4 seconds. So, being that I have a Maelstrom Staff on my front bar, this is the... When I'm on my front bar, I don't have 5 pieces of Spell Strategist on, so I am bar swapping off my front bar as quick as possible and staying on this back bar as long as possible. And I have about an 85 to 90% uptime on the Spell Strategist, and that varies a little bit. I'll show you after the parse. I am wearing Zon. This is out of Scale Collar Peak. It is your hardest hitting single target monster helm in the game. This thing just does immense amounts of damage, plain and simple. Once again, Spell Strategist. I have everything in Divines. Oh, I'm Necropotence. I am wearing Necropotence as well, because this is my pet Sork. But everything I have is in Divines at the moment. I could mess around and put do Infused on the waist or on the legs, the chest, and the head. I just haven't really done it yet. That's something I'll mess with here, maybe even later on today, because since we're not running the Mother Sorrow, we don't need all that. We don't need all those Divines pieces on there, giving us the most out of our Shadow Stone. So we could probably benefit from having some of these in an Infused. But I mean, we're gonna gain 400, about 600 Max Magicka over it. So I don't know if it's gonna make that big of a difference, to be honest with you. My jewelry is all arcane at the moment. I've been messing around with this, and I can't really... I get similar damage outputs whether I am all 3 infused, all 3 in arcane, all 3 bloodthirsty. If you mix and match them, you know, blood-fused, arcane, or blood-infused, bloodthirsty, and arcane, no matter what way I move this around, I get numbers that are within 300 to 500 DPS of each other on parses, which is literally just normal DPS parse differences. So I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between them. So I am arcaning all 3 of these mainly for the Max Magicka and the ability to be able to sustain a little bit better because of the cost increase. We go into our champion points here. I'll just go over them real quick here. I got 56 Elfborn, 56 Elemental Elemental Expert, 30 Spell Erosion, 19 Staff Expert, 28 Master at Arms, 81 Thaumaturge. Red Tree, I got 72 Ironclad, 30 Spell Shield, 22 Light Armor, 49 Hardy, 49 Elemental Defender, 48 Thick Skinned, nothing in the Lord. Over in our green tree, I have 44 in the Warlord, and this one goes against what I've always wanted, what I've always done in this game. Normally, I'm not putting 100 points in something because the reward from it doesn't really add up in a lot of cases. But I've ran this at, you know, having 75 points in Arcanist, and I'm running it at 100 points in Arcanist. And I notice a difference. I really do. It's giving me more maximum Magicka back. You'll probably see me change this back. I'm going to keep messing with it and just see if it's a difference in parses for the most part. But so far, I'm noticing a little bit better sustain when I have the 100 points in the Arcanist, so I'm leaving it there for now. 75 in Tenacity to get the most amount of Magicka back from my fully charged heavy attacks. And I got 51 in Tumbling, and that's it. I need to change this around a little bit too. I'm taking away my Treasure Hunter perk here, but I'm not, you know, running around doing anything with this tune. So these are not, you know, set in stone. It's just what I'm using currently. Now, character sheet. Well, first off, food. So I am using the. This says ice cream right here. This is the Ghastly Eye Bowl. It is from the Witches Festival. It is a food that just is max Magicka and Magicka recovery. And there is no max health to this, so it does kind of, you know, you have to do what I've done here, is split up your attribute points to be able to give yourself some max health and still have a decent amount of maximum magicka. You can see on my character screen, I am rocking 44,000 maximum magicka with a 1,469 recovery, which is very, very important at this point with the resource costs. I'm telling you, this makes more sense than the double Bloody Mara and stuff like that. With the double Bloody Mara not giving you back any recovery, it makes it terribly, terribly insane to try to sustain yourself. It really does. Now, that could change come PlayStation patch. I run with the Flower. She's a really good healer, and she has a lot of abilities that can give me back magicka. She's got bubbles, she's got shards, she's wearing the Hollow Fang, and she has that Symphony of Blades. All of those things can give me magicka back. So for the test servers right now, I'm using this Ghastly Eye Bowl with this setup right here. This is just so I can sustain myself here, and it's working very well. When it comes to PlayStation, I'll let you guys know, but I may switch this back. I might use that disastrously double Bloody Mara, which is max magicka, max health, and health recovery. It's really nice health recovery too, to be honest with you. And readjust these points to all have everything 64 points in magicka. We'll test that out when I get the chance, but I think I'll be able to go that route with Flower because she has so many abilities that can give me back magicka, especially that Hollow Fang. So that is that's for a later story, but for the time being, right now, this is what we got going on. Skills, Unstable Wall, Lightning Flood, Bar Swap, Daedric Prey, Summon Volatile Familiar, Degeneration. Anytime that a shard procs, we are throwing it here. The nice thing that they have, nice thing about, even though there is a cost increase to the Unstable Wall and the Lightning, they've actually increased the duration to 10 seconds on both of those. So it gives us a chance to drop. I can hit 3 crystal frags on this back bar and get a heavy attack and make it back to the front bar to reapply my wall and lightning before it falls off. So that's where I'm picking up the little bit of damage recovery. Now, we have, you know, we have lowered our, they've lowered our DPS numbers, but I found something as well that I think will be very helpful to a lot of people. I am running Degeneration here, even though there is a better ability to put in this situation. Costs a little bit more, but it's far more damaging. I want this Degeneration on here so I have my Major Prophecy. I want Inner Light on both bars so I have my Major Sorcery for Degeneration, Major Prophecy for Inner Light. I want those 2 abilities on there so I don't have to be hitting potions with those, because there is a new ingredient that's probably going to be pretty expensive when it comes to when it comes to these potions, but there's a new ingredient. Where's it at? Right here. Dragon Ream. Alright, so this stuff right here, you can mix it with you can mix it and Dragon's Bile or Dragon's Blood with corn flour, and what it will do is make a potion like the one that, if I could get this right, like the one that I have right here, this Essence of Magicka. It restores 7,582 magicka, grants you Major Intellect, increasing your magicka recovery by 20%, and grants you Minor Heroism, restoring 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 47 seconds. That is free ultimate, and what this does is it helps pick up the lost DPS, in my opinion, from the nerfs that they've put out, because I'm throwing down ultimates far more often because of this, and I'm able to keep my damage up because of it. So I like this setup right here. I'm going to show you exactly how it does right here. they are very inconsistent, and I apologize now if it looks all messed up, because this server has been awful, awful laggy. So let's put on our elemental susceptibility. And we'll start. Frags every chance I can when they proc. They are huge damage, and when they proc, they're only cost like 1,200 or something like that. It's a very, very low cost on them for as much damage as they do. There it went, lagged out on me a little bit, see it? Server is very unstable, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's so laggy right now. I should have known better than to try this on a Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon when everyone's home. Alright, so a little bit lower than I normally get, but that is 40,945. 41,000. No sustain issues whatsoever. 17,000 in health to be able to survive in a lot of different dungeons. And I like this setup very well, especially with the ultimate regeneration with the potions, able to throw down multiple ultimates, especially like this this meteor. You know, I get that back quick as heck anyway when I drop them in trash mobs. When I'm hitting these potions, I'm going to be able to drop them on multiple things. So I like the idea behind this. We're going to work on it a little bit more, but that is what I got for you at the moment, everyone. I hope that gives you a good idea of some things that I'm testing out, things that I'm trying, doing what I can to give you guys the heads up and the edge when it comes to this new patch coming. We're going to keep updating this periodically, keeping everyone informed of changes and things that they've done. I'm going to be providing my feedback to Zoss about what they're doing as well, and we'll see where it goes from there. But if you guys stuck out this long video, thank you very much. I appreciate it greatly, and I don't think I have anything else that I need to go over for you guys, so I am going to call that a video. So everyone, thank you very much. Have a good day. You know, as soon as I ended that, I remembered something that I wanted to show you, and that was my combat metrics. Here's combat metrics. This gives you a rundown of everything that happened during the parse. If you're looking up here, this is the total damage that I did during the parse. This was normal damage for 40.6% of the time. And here's the critical damage I done, 59.4% of the time. I had a spell critical rating of 70%. Is that right? Or critical damage of 70%, I'm sorry. I had a spell critical rating of 46, and then it stayed static because I don't have any differences in my bars. My spell damage, it's what it starts off normal and then goes to at max. My maximum magicka, what it goes to max. Right here is my penetration damage. I'm at 100% penetration right now. I am not over penetrating. Right now I'm using the Lover Stone to give me extra penetration. If I'm in a group where a tank has All-Kosh, I'm going to switch this over more than likely to the Shadow Stone to give myself more critical damage done. But for the time being, we are using the Lover Stone. You'll see that we kept up major intellect 100% of the time. That's my food up, my Lover Stone up. Major prophecy stayed up 100% of the time. Berserker stayed up 99% of the time. That's the glyph on my weapon. So it just shows at one point in time, and more than likely it was when I called out my Atronach, or just extended my rotation a tad little bit, that glyph fell off for maybe half a second or so, but 99% uptime's pretty darn good on that. Minor Prophecy stayed up 95% of the time. My Volatile Familiar stayed up 93% of the time. My Major Sorcery stayed up, 88% of the time. More than likely that 88% of the time is because that's the last ability I use on the bar, on my front, or on my rotation, and it was the last ability hit when I first started the parse. So after that, it probably never fell off. I'm sure I reapplied it every time. That was just the first 8 seconds of the parse. I did not have my Major Sorcery on. Now here we are with Spell Strategist. Like I said, it stays up between 85 to 90% of the time. My Minor Heroism says it was only up 37% of the time. That's not right. I hit potions for that, but whatever. Oh, you know what? Because it's every half second. That's why, I'm sure. Every 1.5 seconds you get it, so... my Greater Storm Atronach, my Crystal Frag procs. It gives you a good rundown of everything that happens in this battle. Not to mention, you know, the amounts of damage things are doing. Light attacks are always doing the most damage for me. Now that I'm able to drop 2 Atronachs, this is coming in second place all the time for me. My Crystal Frag's third, my Lightning Flood, my Heavy Attack, my Volatile Familiar, my Zaun. This is what sucks right here. The Unstable Wall, it just doesn't do as good as damage as it used to, but it is what it is. We need it for our Maelstrom Staff. And Degeneration doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is providing the Major Sorcery for us, giving us a chance to call out those extra ultimates. So, like I said, all this stuff could change, but I just wanted to give you a rundown of how everything looked in the combat metrics here. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. So I hope everyone has a good day, and thanks for sticking it out.